Hello, good evening, everybody. It's really nice to see you. Hello, how are you doing? So I see already some people left their comments in the chat, so it's always a pleasure to have some familiar names there. So how are your days going? How was your weekend or even working days? You can write about that while the rest of you are joining. And I think we can begin. So today we have a bit complicated and a pretty big topic. Yeah, good evening, everybody who is joining. So let's look at it. So first of all, we're going to speak about state and society. Also, we have grammar topic, modal verbs, which might be a bit complicated. And also we will practice reading and learn some tips and tools how to complete it perfectly. So as you can see, there are some links in our chat which you can use in process. And right now, I think we can begin with the first part of it. So first of all, we're going to speak about state and society. And subtopic, the first subtopic of it is about civil rights that every human has or should have. So can you guess the words which are presented on the pictures? So what can be word A here? The American Constitution protects religious something, starts with letter L. So any ideas? Okay. Liberty, let's check, and you are right. So religious liberties and not only is свободи. So you know that свобода of everything like віросповідання, свобода слова are very important, and those are liberties that people have. Okay, then let's focus on picture B. So what can it be? Lots of people together. And we can see that restrictions on freedom of something have gradually been relaxed. So again, any ideas what it can be? So a group of people together and their right to be there together. What is that? You can try. It may be even wrong, but still. Yeah, I think it's time to find out. So it's assembly, like зібрання, assembly. Yeah, so when a group of people gather together, it's an assembly. Okay, and restrictions on freedom of assembly have gradually been relaxed. It means that people are allowed to gather together, and that's okay. So now I have even more words connected with civil rights. So your task is to match the words and their definitions. So let's try with number one. You just write a number and a letter. So what are rights? Human rights, maybe. What are they? And your comments, please. Okay, that is права, nice translation, and that is actually A, something that you're allowed to do. So these are your rights. Okay, then number two, doubt. What can it be? Again, try to find a definition. What is doubt? Okay, someone says that it's F, and that is right. So doubt, сумнів, сумніви, a feeling of being not sure whether something is right or not, whether something is correct or not. Yeah. Okay, number three, innocent. Innocent. Again, letters, please. And that is H, not guilty of a crime, innocent, невинний. Yeah, correct. Okay, number 4, law. What is law? And you say it might be E, exactly the system of rules that people must obey. Yeah, that is right. Number 5, guilty. Guilty. What is guilty? And that is G. Yes. So the person who is not innocent is guilty. Винний, звинувачений. Yeah, that is guilty. Number 6, proof. You should know this word. So what is a proof? And you say it's I, information that proves something is true. Exactly. So a proof is dokaz. Dokazy, proofs. Okay, number 7, judgment. Again, your ideas. So what's judgment? Number 7, judgment. And it's D, an opinion that you form after thinking about something, your судження, or sometimes can be like рішення. So that is judgment, right? Counsel, counsel. What, or maybe who, is a counsel? Number 8. And J, a lawyer. Yeah, exactly. So a counsel is another word for a lawyer. Yeah, especially if you have a lawyer at court, судді, like advocate, you can call them a counsel. Yeah. Okay, censorship. Censorship. C. No, it's B. Ban. So censorship, cenzura, it's when you're not allowed to say something, for example, or to write something, or even to think about something. So all of that is censorship, cenzura. And the last one, conscience. So conscience, it's something like свідомість or even совість. That is the part of your mind that tells you whether something you are doing is good or bad, right or wrong. That is your conscience, свідомість. Okay, nice work there. So all of the words are collected in Quizlet. You can see the link attached in the chat. The QR code will be later as we finish this topic, so let's move on. And now let's practice some of these words. So here, 4 words, 4 gaps. There you go. Again, just write a letter and the word you think should be there. So the U.S. Declaration of Independence sets out basic human rights in these words. We hold that all men are created, some gap. Equal, yes, рівні, рівноправні, equal. That they are endowed by their creator with certain with certain what? With certain rights, з певними правами. That among these are life. Number 3. Liberty, свободи, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Okay, then what about civil liberties? Let's keep breaking. Civil liberties include, okay, I see the question about the word endowed. It's like наділені. They are endowed by their creator with certain rights, наділені певними правами. Okay, so civil liberties, let's move on. And they include freedom of, number 5, which means the right to express opinion freely. Freedom of speech, exactly, свобода слова. Then we can speak without censorship, без цензури, exactly. So whatever you say is okay to say. Yeah, no censorship. Freedom of something, which means the right to hold any moral or religious views. So what is that? Freedom of? Freedom of conscience, exactly. Okay, and the last one, freedom of assembly and associations, which means the right to gather in public and to form organizations. Yeah, so право вільно збиратися і мати організації. Yes, that is right. Okay, so let's keep moving. I have two more parts of the text. So here, the rule of law. What is that about? So, the rule of law in England says, no free man shall be taken or imprisoned or any otherwise destroyed by lawful judgment of his peers. Exactly. Judgment like судження or осудження, or by the number 2, something of the land. By the law of the land. Yeah, the US Constitution guarantees that no person shall be deprived, позбавлена, of life, liberty, or property, власності, without due process of law. Okay, that's right. So, then the rights of accused, права звинувачених. The accused, звинувачений, is presumed, вважається, something until proven something else. So let's decide those two words together. The accused is presumed. Innocent вважається невинним until proven guilty, аж поки не визнаний винним. Yes, okay. If members of a jury have some якщо члени журі, if members of a jury have some doubts, сумніви about a person's guilt, щодо вини цієї особи, they are obliged to deliver a verdict, not guilty. Вони зобов'язані винести вирок невинний. Yeah, okay. A person accused of a crime has the right to a fair what? To a fair trial, на справедливий суд. He cannot be forced to be a a witness against himself. So, він не може бути змушеним свідчити проти себе. He has the right to be represented by counsel or a lawyer. Yes, exactly. Okay, so I know the words might be a bit complicated, but like I said, Quizlet with those words is included. And now let's speak a little bit about money. So, a simple task. Here you've got some pictures. Again, just a number and the term. So what do you see on the first picture? What is that? It's a coin. Yes, exactly. Moneta, coin. Number 2. Number 2 is a receipt. So something we usually call check, right? But it's a paper that proves that you paid, for example, for goods in the supermarket. Yeah. Okay. Then number 3. Number 3 is a banknote. Exactly. So these paper money are banknotes. Banknoty, купюры. Okay, number 4. What is number 4? It's ATM, exactly. So in Ukrainian, bankomat, in English, that's ATM. Where is the nearest ATM here? I need to take some or withdraw, зняти some. Number 5, cash, exactly. So paper money altogether is cash. And unlike cash, on the 6th picture, we have so picture number 6 again. That is a debit card or can be a credit card, depends on the situation. Yeah, all right. So let's keep moving. And here I've got 2 adjectives, which are economical and economic. Now let's decide which word fits which gap. So we have enjoyed a period of steady economical or economic growth. What's letter A? Economical or economic growth? Economic growth, that is right, економічне зростання. So the one that refers to country's economy. Yeah, and B, a small car is more economical to run, ekonomna in Ukrainian. Yeah, so it saves some resources, for example, money, time, or any other things. That is economical, ekonomny. And economic, економічний, економічне зростання. Okay, so then here I've got even more words that come from the word economy. Let's try to guess what is what. So number 1, we are facing a worldwide crisis. What type of crisis is that? Yeah, so that's economic crisis, економічна криза, economic crisis, right. Number 2, the country's, some word, is in the worst condition since the Great Depression. So what is number 2? The country's. Economy, yes. Економіка країни, the country's economy, is in the worst condition. Number 3, The Wealth of Nations is a classic book by the 18th century Scottish, I guess it's some profession, Adam Smith. So who was Adam Smith? Economist, exactly. Economist, just like we use it in Ukrainian. Number 4, this is not a very something solution. It would cost a lot more than the alternatives. So not very smart in terms of spending money. Economical, не дуже економне рішення, right? Number 5, my sister intends to study at university. So I guess it should be some discipline, right? Or science. Economics, exactly. So when we speak about economy, that is економіка країни, like a general state of things there. And economics is a science that studies economy as well. Number 6, in the light of the current crisis, we'll have to, I guess, do something. We can no longer afford this huge spending. Economize, economete. Yeah, completely right. So I know it might be a bit confusing, but if you look twice, that's kind of fine. Okay, let's keep moving. So now let's speak more about money. And here some confusing words like to borrow, to lend, to loan, to, no, not to loan, loan, sorry, and to owe. So as you see on the picture, there are some tips given to you. So when we lend, we give something, and when we borrow, we take. So the bank, what can bank do with $10,000? The bank lent you or loaned you, yeah, like надав позику or позичив, $10,000. And now you something, the bank, $10,000. And now you owe винний банку, yeah, exactly, $10,000. Okay, and in B, could I would use the word take or borrow your car. So could I borrow your car? Можно я позичу? Yeah, your car. And the last one, could you give, meaning lend me your car. So again, pay attention. When the bank gives you money, it lends, позичає, or loans, надає позику, yeah? And then you owe the bank, винний. And when we take something, we borrow it. When we give something, we lend it. Pretty simple, I guess. Let's keep moving. So here, we've got some other words connected with work and money you can get. So income, salary, wage. Again, what's the difference? So most of new jobs in the area only pay the minimum. Minimum what? So salary or wage? Minimum wage, like минимальную ставку, minimum wage. All right. B, she is now earning a good something as an interpreter. So a good salary, exactly. And C is logically income. The properties he rented out provided him with an income. So what's the difference here? Income is basically any money you can get. For example, you invested in something, you get some income. Or for example, you have an extra apartment and you give it for rent. Again, you get some income from it. Or for example, you have a business, so you get some profit, which is also your income. And your salary, if you just work, also your income. So income is basically any money that a person gets. Then a salary is a sum of money that you get for your work, usually during the month. So for example, you worked for a month as a teacher, as a builder, as, I don't know, an actor. No, an actor wouldn't get a salary usually. And then, yeah, monthly you get your salary. And wage is, for example, how much you get per hour. So that is the sum of money, which can be calculated and multiplied in the future to get your final salary. So for example, you know that you get, let's say, $10 per hour, that is your wage. And eventually, considering how much time you work during the month, you will get some salary from that. Oh, I see some first answers for number 3, job, career, and work. So right after graduating from college, I worked 2 jobs. Exactly. So I could pay off my student loan faster. So 2 jobs, 2 роботи, meaning 2 different types of work that you did. You had kinda 2 different positions, different job titles there. Okay, letter B. I went to the bar with some friends from work. So here, work is a general word that means both time you spend working, place where you work at, and generally like the activity you're busy with. So that is from work. What about C? Also work. I can't access Facebook when I am at work. Again, while I am working, during that period of time or in that particular place. And letter D, her acting career lasted for more than 50 years. So career is like your work in long-term perspective. Usually when we speak about career, we understand that there is some developing, some growth. Yeah, all right. So now, speaking about social topic, I have another subtopic, which is crime. So look at the picture. What type of crime is there? The crime of deliberately setting fire to something. What do we call it? Is it bribery, arson, treason? What do you think? It's arson, exactly. So when you set fire to some place or something, it's arson, like підпал. All right, so here I have a bigger list of crimes and some news headlines that describe those crimes. So let's read carefully and try to decide what is what. So you can easily get what arson is. Well, let's find the proper letter. I think you would agree that it's C. Yes, exactly. Mentally unstable man sets fire to supermarket. Of course, it's arson. Now let's focus on number 2, burglary. What is burglary? So, is it A? Thieves break into celebrity's house. Yes. So, burglary, it's пограбування зі взломом. So you entered someone's property, maybe breaking the door or the window in the process, and then you took some stuff there. That is burglary. Yeah, okay. What is number 3? Blackmail. So what is blackmail? And that is E, exactly. So if you extort some money, вимагаємо some money from a person by threatening them to tell their secrets or some private information, or maybe to show some private photos, it's always blackmail, chantage, or extort, like вимагання. Okay, number 4, mugging. What is mugging? B. Yes, that's right. So Jeremy Smith, 15, was robbed in the street outside the school yesterday. Yeah, so if you were like robbed, пограбований, or mugged, that happens publicly. So you see the robber, грабіжника, And it usually happens in some public places. Yeah. So, for example, they just took your bag or your phone and ran away. Maybe pushed you in the process. That would be mugging. Okay, hijacking. I already see answer D. Plane seized by terrorists. 87 hostages. Заручників. Oh my God. So that is hijacking. When some person seizes the transport, захоплює some transport, usually big one, that is hijacking. Yeah. Treason. What is treason? I see letter C. No, it's not. That is arson. So what's C? What's 6? I'm sorry. Letter F. Apparently, no, it's not. That is G. Treason, zrada. International spy goes on trial for selling nuclear secrets. Yeah, so if some spy sold some secrets of his country, that is treason, zrada. And the last one, F, is bribery. So when you give some money or some services or some other things to get what you want, that is a bribe. Guys, who can translate this word? Bribery. A really big problem of many countries, which happens at all levels, from usual people to big governmental structures sometimes. So what is bribery? Хабарництво. Exactly. Thank you, Ivan. So that is bribery. All right. So now we know the names of crimes. Корупція, corruption, but corruption includes giving bribes. Yeah. So when you give a bribe, habar, that is corruption in general. Yeah, nice work. Thank you for helping me. So then let's decide what's the difference between three actions here. So when you rob something, when you theft something, and when you steal something. So someone probably took my laptop and cell phone. So who was he? The thief. Крадій, right? Злодюжка. The thief took my laptop and cell phone. Or sometimes kinda грабіжник. Yeah, but there is a difference between a thief and a robber. So a thief would do it, silently, without any weapon, not threatening you. And a robber would do it threatening you, maybe with a gun, like give me your money or I will shoot you. So that is a robbery. When you got threatened, коли вам погрожують, usually with some weapon or just with power, that is robbery. And a theft, крадіжка, it's usually, I cannot say kinda, but not that hard and dangerous. So just some things were taken, but no person was hurt when it's just a theft. All right, so number 2, my favorite pizza shop was robbed, пограбований last month. So that means the person came into the shop when the people were there and he threatened those people. Yeah, and number 3, the thief stole, викрав, a gold necklace from the woman's bedroom. All right, nice work there. So then 2 other words, incident and accident. So if a drunk driver runs his car into a group of people, that is an accident. Yeah, нещасний випадок. And if some troublemaking teenagers throw rocks at a house and break its windows, that is an Incident. So incident, more like incident, some unpleasant situation, but accident usually much more serious and causes much more harm from that. So basically we can say that every accident is an incident, but not every incident is that hard to be called an accident. Okay? So now let's work a little bit with prepositions, and there you need to decide which preposition to use in each case. So the man was arrested being drunk in a public place. For. So we can arrest some person for doing something illegal, right? Number 2, the assistant was suspected passing on confidential information to the competition. So he was suspected of, підозрюваний в, suspected of something, or suspected of doing something. Okay, that's in Ukrainian, підозрюваний в чомусь, but in English, suspected of. All right, number 3. The student was accused, again, of, звинувачений в, again, logically you translate it like in, but it's not, so he was accused of plagiarism, right? Or just copying someone else's works, I think from the internet. Okay, number 4. The 3 men were charged with armed robbery. Okay. Number 5. The driver who caused the accident was found guilty . So he was found guilty. Which word? No ideas. Of manslaughter. So manslaughter, it's, I may confuse the word, but ненавмисне вбивство. So you know that killing a person or a murder would be made on purpose, and manslaughter, it's when you never planned to do that. So the driver, for example, was drunk and he just couldn't drive the car properly. So that is a manslaughter, ненавмисне вбивство. And a murder, it's when it's done on purpose. And he was also disqualified from driving. Yeah. Number 6, the bank robber was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Йому було присуджено, or I don't know if it's right translation, but приговорений до 10 років ув'язнення. Yeah, for threatening the cashier with a shotgun. За погрози касиру. Okay, nice work. So then, let's do a small reading really fast, and as usually, useful tips. So this time we will need to put the parts of the sentences in the gaps. First of all, read the whole text to understand its main idea. Then, read the text part by part to decide what kind of information you need in the gap. Like, is it some verb, is it some object, is it some adjective? Then choose the best option from the listed, and then check if none of the other options fits your gap better. So let's try. Oh, guys, almost forgot, that is the link for Quizlet, the one you can see in the comments, so you can scan the QR code to save it for the future. Or, again, use the link from the comments. So all the vocabulary that we discussed today is there. And we keep moving. So before we proceed to reading, you may need some words. Again, my recommendation, take a screenshot because you may need to check them. So to escape, втікати, sentence, вирок, stationery, констовари, like pens, pencils, so on. To dispatch, відправляти, for example, some package or delivery, посилку. Inmate, a person in prison. A batch, партія. To a convict, засуджений. Accomplice, співучасник. To alert, попереджати. Testify, свідчити or зізнаватися. Criminal offense, кримінальний злочин. Whereabouts, the place where you currently are. Yeah, I know that the topic is rather difficult, but we need to work with it, so I hope you will practice better later on. And now let's start reading. But before that, just a short fact about the person we are going to read about. So, a prisoner mails himself out of jail. So, the person who was kept in jail escaped from prison in Germany by mailing himself in a cardboard box. So now let's read the text about this person and how he managed to escape. Let's go. So a prisoner called Oliver Crystal, who had been serving a 7-year sentence for arson, had been employed by the prison in making stationery together with other prisoners. The stationery, some gap, was packed in large cardboard boxes and dispatched to shows by a courier. So, I see the first answer, 33, B. Okay, that's right. So the stationery which gets delivered nationwide was packed in large cardboard boxes and dispatched to shops by a courier. So what is 34? It's G, who was a regular visitor to the prison. Okay, yeah, that's right. So let's keep reading. At the end of the working day, the prisoner climbed into one of the boxes. When the courier arrived to collect the goods, the box, some gap, containing the inmate, was loaded onto the truck along with other boxes, and again some gap. So what is 35 and 36? F. Yes, so the box which the driver later said was heavier than usual, containing this person, was loaded onto the truck along with other boxes. 36C, that were due for delivery that day. Exactly. Okay, let's keep moving. So, as soon as the vehicle was outside the prison gates and out of sight, the convict got out of the box and jumped off. It is believed that he was immediately picked up in a car by his accomplices. 37. H, who had been waiting at a pre-arranged meeting point. Yeah, the driver alerted the police after he noticed the cover on the back of the truck had been cut. Okay, other inmates are suspected to have known on the planned escape, but they are unlikely to testify, as helping a prisoner to escape is a criminal offense in Germany. And the last gap. A. Where events like this are uncommon. Okay, that's right. Okay, good job here. So now let's proceed to our last subtopic, which is modal verbs. And now look at the picture. So a worried mother and her son playing computer games with a friend. So mom is thinking, he, something to be at home by now. He, again, some gaps, still be at school. He, something, answer his mobile phone. So, which modal verbs can we use there? He ought to be at home by now. Like, він повинен уже бути дома, yeah? He should answer his mobile phone. Йому слід відповісти. He can still be at school. Він не може бути в школі. His train must be in a tunnel. Напевно, його потяг у тунелі. So, she's just worrying, and as you see, he's playing computer games at that time. So, all of those words are connected with the topic modals, and now let's have a closer look at them. So, generally speaking, modal verbs are followed by a bare infinitive. So, when you use a modal verb, after that we use nothing but just infinitive form without to. I can run. I must do. I should study. Not studying, not to study, not studied, none other form but bare infinitive. Then it has the same form in all persons, meaning he can and I can. We never say he cans. It's impossible, right? Then it forms questions and negative sentences without auxiliary verb, meaning I can run. The question would be, can you run? So we just move the modal verb to the first place or add not to it to make a negative sentence. And they have several meanings and uses, and we will discuss them. So here are some examples. You shouldn't leave, not leaving, not left, nothing like that. Then, you should have answered. If we need to use past modal, we use bare infinitive of have, and then we make this perfect or past modal. You should have answered the phone, meaning раніше, but you cannot say just you should answered. So have is like in-between word that helps you work or make it grammatically fine. Okay, then if we say he needs, then we can use S after he, but she must, no S is there. And for questions, for example, can he repair his car? He cannot repair his car. All right. So modal verbs can be used for different purposes. And here are just some examples. So let's decide together what is what. Can you use a computer? What is that? Can you use a computer? So is it some request, possibility, deduction, or what? Can you use a computer? So it's an ability, like здібність, здатність, yes. Something you can do or cannot do, like physically or mentally, something you know or don't, right? Okay, number 2. May I come in? You definitely use this phrase at English lessons. So that is a permission, дозвіл. So here you ask for permission, like, teacher, may I come in or not? Usually you may, right? Number 3, there are plenty of flats available for rent. It should be easy enough to find a place to live. So it should be easy. It's not a deduction, but it's something similar. It's a possibility, можливість, right? Like you have lots of flats, meaning lots of possibilities. It should be easy. It shouldn't be hard to find an empty one. Okay. Number 4, John must be at the dentist's. He was complaining about a toothache. So like, where is John? He must be at the dentist's. And that is a probability. So, of course, there are many chances. Like, he may be at home, he may be in the park, he may be playing computer games with his friend, but also there is a chance, a big chance, that he is at the dentist. Yeah, so вірогідність. Number 5, she could have left her umbrella in the classroom. That is deduction, because we think logically, like, okay, the last moment when I saw the umbrella was at school, so I could have left it in the classroom. And request is a polite way to ask for something. Could I have some coffee, please? Yeah. So then, let's look at different usages of modals in particular. When we speak about permission, дозвіл, in present we use can, sometimes could, to sound more polite. For example, could I use this chair? Sounds better than can I use this chair? So again, if you want to sound a bit more polite, you would say, could you help me please, instead of can you help me please? Also, you use may or might. For example, you may use this chair, or you may not use this chair, and it would sound more formal. So, to ask a friend, you would use could, but if it's a formal conversation, rather may, not could. And in the past, we use rather word couldn't in negative situations, or pay attention, was or were allowed to, if it's a positive sentence. So can we say could for permission? For example, he could come into the classroom. No. But he couldn't is okay. So he couldn't, йому не можна було, but he could is not used there. Okay, let's keep moving. So modals of obligations are very interesting. Here we have the word must and have to. Must is a modal, have to isn't, but they are often used in the same context, but with a small difference. When you say, I must do something, it's your personal understanding that you need to do it. I must give up smoking. I understand that this habit is bad, so I feel like it would be better for my health. But I have to give up smoking means my doctor says so. So he told me that I would die if I didn't stop doing that. So that's why, like, I have to. But clearly, this person doesn't want to give up there. And when you say mustn't, that's forbidden. So, like, it's clearly something you shouldn't do. It's a rule and you should obey it. But if you say you don't have to, it's like ти не зобов'язаний, so you still can do it, it's okay, but it's not your duty. So, and models of necessity. So here, when something is necessary, необхідно, you can say I need to do something or I have to do something. And there is no difference in meaning. But if you say that I don't need to do something and I don't have to do something, it's not necessary. But we also have this word I needn't. And that's pretty interesting because when you say that I don't need to wear glasses, I mean general situation. Like, мені не потрібно взагалі. But when you say needn't, you can mention only a specific case. For example, I needn't wear my glasses when I read that book because the script was pretty big. So in that particular case, there was no need. but usually I still need wear my glasses. I need to wear my glasses, you see? And when we speak about the past events, we can rather say, you didn't need to do it, or you needn't have done it. But there is a small difference there as well. So when you say, I didn't need to do it, we don't know whether you did it or not. But when you say you needn't have done it, that means you did it. For example, oh my God, why did you bring this heavy book? You needn't have brought it. Не потрібно було її приносити, but you brought it, right? And you can say, I knew that this book wasn't needed yesterday, so I didn't bring it. I didn't need to bring it. Мені не потрібно було приносити, so I didn't do that. Okay, let's keep moving. And here are my favorites, models of deduction. So look at this scale. Here we have 100% certain chance, 50% like possible, and 0% something is impossible. So what modal verb do we use when we are 100% sure that something is true? Any ideas? Comments, please. We are finishing soon, but still, let's work a little bit. Must, exactly. So when you say something like this, he must know English because he read so confidently at the lesson. So, я впевнений, що він знає, він точно знає, something like that. When it's 50-50, you may use such modal verbs as may, might, and could. Pay attention, no can. So when you speak about possibility of something, можливість чогось, вірогідність, you can say, he may know English, but I'm not sure. Or he might know English, but I really doubt. Or he could know English, but I guess he doesn't. So like there is a chance, but not really big. And what about impossible situations? What would you use there if it's impossible? Any ideas? Can't. Yeah, exactly. So when you don't believe in something, you can say, it can't be true. It's impossible. Не може бути правдою. Yeah. So just remember, we use must for being sure, for being certain, будучи впевненими, and we use can't when we are sure it's not true. So look at this girl and what she is doing. Oh my God. So the first thought I had, it must be heavy. Це повинно бути важко. Це, скоріше за все, важко. Yeah. Or she may hurt herself. So not 100%, but she may hurt herself. Вона може нашкодити собі if she doesn't do it correctly. Or it could be some competition. So maybe she's taking part in some competition right now. Or this picture can't be real. If it's hard for you to believe what she is doing, it can't be real. Okay. So I know it might be pretty light, but still, for me, it's like my first idea, it must be heavy and this picture can't be real. But okay. So another thing is past models of deduction. So remember, I told you today that if we want to form some past model, we need to add have and the third form of the verb. So look at this picture. The girl, she's definitely looking for something. So what happened there? She says, I can't find my keys. So now, when we start deducting, we think not about present, but about past. like what have happened with the kids in the past. And this girl is thinking, I can't have left them at school. Like, не могло бути, щоб я залишила їх у школі. I opened the front door with my key, so my key should be with me, or at least at home, right? So I can't have left them at school. Неможливо, щоб я залишила їх в школі. 0% chance. Yeah, then I may have dropped them under the bed, or I might have left them under the sofa, or I could forgot them at the desk. So here, like, you start listing different possibilities. Можливо, я залишила їх, можливо, вони десь впали, and so on. So it's like maybe, I may have dropped. Not may drop, kind of now, but may have dropped. Залишила in the past. Yeah. And the last thought she had, they must have fallen when I took off my jacket. Вони, напевно, впали, коли я знімала куртку. Yeah? So that's like where they are. So I need to go back to the hall and check my jacket and the floor next to it, right? So there's where I can find them. So that's past modals of deduction and their formation. And now let's do just one task to generalize all of that. I know that we are a bit late, but I hope you will stay with me for a few minutes longer. So, number 1. We ask for something, yeah? So what modal verb would you use in number 1? Can you lend me your dictionary, please? I really need it. Or even could, like a bit more polite request. Could you lend me, please? Yeah, sounds even better. Number 2, Ryan is 18 months old. Now that he can walk, right? I have to watch out for him all the time. So that is his ability. He can walk. Він навчився ходити, він вміє ходити. Number 3. Roger, come to the park with us because he has a lot of studying to do. So will he come or not? Number 3. Roger can't come to the park. Не може. Or may not. Again, не може прийти в парк. Yeah. Number 4. Frank, something with a car. I saw him driving past my house this morning. So Frank may have bought a car. Можливо, купив машину. But I saw him driving, so I'm pretty sure he must have bought a car. Він, напевне, купив машину. Він точно купив машину. I saw him driving past my house. So that is deduction. Like, seeing Frank driving, probably he has a new car. Okay? So, can, may, it's like maybe yes, maybe no. But you saw him in a new car. So he must have bought. Він точно купив, right? Number 5. I'm surprised that John didn't answer the door. I rang the doorbell many times. What happened? Number 5. He may have been sleeping. He might have been sleeping. He must have been sleeping. Можливо, він спав. Він точно спав. Both options are okay. Number 6. May I play a game on your computer? Can I play a game on your computer? Можно, right? So that is a permission. You ask for that, if you can do that. Number 7. They it's so far. So is it possible or not? They can't have walked all the way to town. Вони не могли пройти весь цей шлях. It's so far. So like, I don't believe they did it. They can't have walked. Okay, number 8. Number 8. May I have some coffee, please? Could I have some coffee, please? Polite option. Or can I have some coffee, please? Also possible. So that's a request. Чи можна? Can, could, may all work there. Number 9. Number 9. They can't afford to rent a summer house. Не можуть собі дозволити. So, no such possibility. And number 10, I've got a temperature and sore throat. Oh, you must be feeling awful. Oh, тобі погано. So you are sure 100% that the person is feeling unwell. Okay, so then, guys, let's finish. And the last thing I've got for you is tricky questions. So it will take not more than 1 minute. And now tell me, please, if a government forbids citizens to gather in public places, does it violate freedom of assembly? Freedom of assembly. Yes. Це порушує свободу зібрань. Number 2. Can we describe a car as economic? Put numbers so I know to which one you write yes or no, please. So, can a car be economic? No, it's economical. Yes, Polina. Ekonomna, not ekonomiczna. Number 3. Treason is the crime of setting fire to something. Guys, put numbers. I got confused. So treason is crime of setting fire. No, of course not. Treason is zrada and arson, підпал. Number 4. So can we use preposition of with suspected, accused, found guilty? And it's yes. So, suspected of a crime, підозрюваний в злочині, accused of a crime, звинувачений, found guilty, знову признаний винним у злочині, у вчиненні злочину. That's yes. Number 5. Can every accident be called an incident? Actually, yes. So, кожен нещасний випадок – це інцидент, but not vice versa. Not every incident is an accident. Accident is like a severe, hard version of an incident. And number 6, check if the sentence is correct. I don't believe you. It mustn't be true. And I see correct answers. Yes, Polina. So it can't be true. Це не може бути правдою. Yes, that's right. So guys, here, as we had not enough time, I recommend you to practice some additional tasks and explanations on modal verbs. Again, you have this link in your chat, or you can scan the QR code and even dedicate some time practicing right now. Believe me, that website contains really good explanations of all the types of modals. So I believe in you. I believe you can practice a bit more. Yeah, let's do it on your own because topic is like so hard. And that's all from me. So thank you for being here. Thank you for staying with me and for your incredibly active work. So I hope your English is getting better. Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.